In this video, we are going to be looking at the stadiums that the giants of German football, Bayern Munich, have called home throughout the years. In the club's early years, the venues changed quite frequently. Bayern played its first training games at the Schierenplatz in the centre of Munich. The first official games were held on the Theresienwiese. Clemenstrasse. In 1901, Bayern moved to a field of its own, located in Schwabing at the Clemenstrasse. Leopoldstrasse. After joining the München Sports Club in 1906, Bayern moved into the MSC's ground at the Leopoldstrasse in 1907. As the crowds for Bayern's home games increased at the beginning of the 1920s, Bayern had to switch to various other premises in Munich. They left the Leopoldstrasse in 1924. Grünwalder Stadium. The Grünwalder Stadium was built in 1911 and started life not as a ground for Bayern Munich, but instead as the home ground for Bayern's city rivals 1860 Munich. Bayern, however, also called the stadium home and played in the stadium from 1925 until 1972. The Grünwalder Stadium was initially a rather modest ground, but got quickly expanded in the 1920s to a capacity of over 40,000. In 1937, the city of Munich became owners of the ground, but during World War II, the stadium got heavily damaged during air raids, meaning it needed to be rebuilt, which saw it get further expanded quickly after. Over the years, the state of the stadium slowly deteriorated, and capacity was reduced due to safety measures. Bayern remained at the Grünwalder, sharing it with 1860 Munich until 1972. Since then, the stadium has remained the home ground of Bayern's second team and the under-19s team of Bayern and 1860. It's also worth noting that following the relegation of 1860 Munich from the second Bundesliga to the fourth tier of German football, the senior 1860 Munich team have returned to the stadium and have played there ever since. However, the stadium still does not meet the standards to play matches at the second Bundesliga level, and plans exist to renovate further to a capacity of 18,000 and add a cover to all stands. Following the construction of the Allianz Arena, plans were made to demolish the ground entirely, but in the end, it was decided to patch up the stadium. The largest crowd ever was seen in 1948, when 58,560 attended a game between 1860 Munich and FC Nürnberg. Olympiastadion. The next stadium that Munich called home was a stadium which stood at the heart of German football for over 30 years, and one which created so many memories for fans worldwide. The Olympic Stadium in Munich, or for our German subscribers, the Olympiastadion. The 1960s was a successful period for Bayern Munich, as they lifted 3 German Cups, the Cup Winners' Cup in 1967, as well as the Bundesliga in 1969. And these successes meant that demand for tickets was high, and as a result, they simply outgrew the Grünwalder Stadium. At the same time, Germany were preparing to host the 1972 Olympic Games, with a brand new stadium being constructed for that event. Rather than building yet another new stadium, the pragmatic decision was taken that Bayern would move to that ground, which had a much more attractive capacity of 80,000. Opened on May 26, 1972, Bayern's first match in the ground was a month later, and it couldn't have got any bigger, as they played FC Schalke in what was a title decider. Bayern didn't let down their fans, as they smashed Schalke 5-1 to clinch the title and setting the team off on a golden era, with the team regularly competing and winning titles. However, fans were not always happy with the Olympic Stadium, with the regular complaint heard that the fans were too far away from the pitch due to the presence of a running track in between the stands and the pitch. On top of that, the design of the stadium meant that the roof only covered one side of the ground, leaving the other half exposed to cold weather in the winter. This led Bayern to explore plans to leave, and in May 2005, Bayern bid farewell to the Olympic Stadium. They did, however, leave on a high, and signed off their time at the Olympic Stadium with a 6-3 victory over FC Nürnberg, and another Bundesliga title that summer as they bid farewell, and moved on to start a new chapter, this time at the Allianz Arena. Allianz Arena. Following on from the Grünwald Stadium and later the Olympic Stadium, the real third home venue in Bayern's long Bundesliga history is certainly the most spectacular. The Allianz Arena is famous for its external cladding, and is the first stadium in the world with a full colour-changing exterior. Located at the northern edge of Munich, it is the second largest arena in Germany, behind only the Westfalenstadion in Dortmund. Bayern took residence at the Allianz Arena at the start of the 2005-2006 season. As with their previous stadiums, Bayern initially shared the ground with city rivals 1860 Munich, who had a 50% share in the stadium. However, Bayern Munich purchased their shares for €11 million in April 2006, due to 1860 Munich suffering from financial issues. 1860 continued to play at the Allianz until July 2017, but since then, Bayern have been the sole tenants of the stadium. The large locally based financial services provider Allianz purchased the naming rights to the stadium for 30 years. It is famed as Europe's most modern stadium, with a capacity of more than 70,000, and visitors continue to be particularly impressed by the outside, which has 2,760 diamond-shaped cushions forming the world's biggest membrane cladding. Another big plus point of the arena is its ability to match the needs of a broad range of supporters. There are 13,500 reasonably priced tickets for the standing terraces at Bundesliga games, 2,200 business seats, and 106 executive boxes, with a total of 1,374 seats, providing the perfect surroundings for entertaining and commerce. Aside from the football, the stadium also houses the FCB Erlebniswelt, a must-see attraction for thousands of the 5 million visitors to Munich every year. This is Germany's biggest club museum, which tells the absorbing story of the club in an interactive installation covering more than 3,000 square metres. From humble beginnings to ground sharing with city rivals, to now calling one of the most modern stadiums in world football home. The journey has been an exciting one. Which of these stadiums that Bayern Munich have called home is your favourite?